We're back, everybody.
With more Reen.
Rivalry. But actually with more radio show.
Oh, the radio.
Yeah, we gotta do this side quest. And then story. Storeen. Oh, I should have renamed it. I should have named it Storeen.
You should have. It's too late.
No, it's not.
Mishy's there.
Mishy's always there, because I can. Did you see our request? That's right. I was a little surprised, honestly. But it was nice to meet up with your old coworker, right? But it looks like I made her mad, though. Anyway, you care to hear me out? I know that you're all busy, but this may be the only chance we get. Well... It looks like it's about the radio drama from last time. Hearing myself on the radio was way too embarrassing. I guess we can hear you out. That's cold, Reen. I think if you hear me out, you'll be interested, too. Just like the request says, I want to broadcast a special episode on Radio Trista. We need to be careful with our words. We're being censored because of the war, after all. But I still want to spread my message about how we need to not lose sight of things more important than the war. Monk, I see. And you want me to step in for the protagonist's role? Right, we want to make a new episode of Eternal Noon. But our voice actor was drafted, and we're missing our voice actresses, too. Since it's a special episode, I was hoping you could negotiate some replacements for the 4 heroines. Aren't you pretty much asking for the impossible, Monk? Yeah, that's probably how most people would see it. Please, think of it as my last request. There are so many fan letters. Even a hospital patient wrote one. If the war is going to happen anyway, I at least want them to have courage. Right. Let's do it. I guess. I don't know if I'll be any good, but I'll try my best. Thank you so much. I know I can always count on you, Reen. I'm sure you don't want to waste time, so let's get straight down to the details. If I remember right, the setting is a fictional kingdom in the center of the continent. The main character's name is Noon. He's a skilled agent who carries out secret orders from the second-born princess. He has a mysterious past, white hair, wears black clothes, and uses an eastern sword called the katana. And he's totally not me. That's... Please don't say it. If anything, Noon had white hair before I did. Hey, I think it's cool, but I can always make some changes if you're not happy with the parallels. Please do. Don't worry about it. Why don't you tell us about the 4 heroines? Sure, I'll get started now. First, we have Selma, the daughter of a count. She's a broad-minded woman who likes to garden. The second is Ruri. She's a cheeky, irresistible reporter. She's the twin sister of Nanai, the med student. Third up is Hein. She works as a librarian who writes unique novels. Last is Velvet, a mysterious and elusive fortune teller. Those descriptions are easy to match. Selma is definitely Adel. Ruri is Vivi. Hein and Velvet are probably Dorothy and Beryl, huh? You got it. Vivi and Dorothy are on the Courageous too. Adel happens to be here and leaves right now. If you looked, it looked like she was talking with Instructor Mary about the others about working with some of the other alumni. I see. It's been a long time since I've seen Adel. But what about Beryl? Apparently Yuna and the others ran into her, but I haven't seen her. Oh, I recently received some news from other Thor's alumni. Apparently she's visiting a village you can't find on a map. I don't think it meant Hamel, though. That means maybe we'll be able to find her quicker than we thought. I think I understand. We'll have to talk about the 4 of them and bring them here, right? Right, the script is ready, so we can record whenever. If something more important comes up, feel free to prioritize that over this. Alright, leave it to us. We'll be back before you know it. Alright, so as last time, you get to choose whose story we follow. Who struck your fancy?
I don't know.
So we have the broad-minded gardener.
Right.
We have the plucky reporter, who is the twin of the med student. The mysterious and elusive fortune teller. And the super special novelist who writes unique novels. I.e., she writes boy love.
Fortune telling it is.
Okay. Well, here's the problem with that. I don't know where the fuck Beryl's at.
Should I? Well, I don't know if you'd want me to or not.
I mean, I'd see, looking up where she's at would be fine. Oh, wait. Oh, no, it makes sense. A village not found on a map that is not
Oh.
Hamel, so it would be Aaron Village, the village in the alternate dimension. She'd have to be here.
Oh.
And she looks like she is. There she is. And just for you, we're also going to do the one that's boy love.
I mean, I don't really care about the boy love.
Yes, you fucking do. Do not even lie to my ears. You
I'm not lying to your ears.
You have brought up your love for boy love and yaoi way too soon since we started dating. Like, way sooner than you should have.
I mean, you still accepted it, so.
You shut your filthy mouth.
You still accepted it.
You brought it up way sooner than you should have. I had a feeling you were here in Aaron. I'd give a lot to know why, though. She claims she got lost in the woods and simply ended up here. Walked right through the barrier and into the village like it was nothing. What? How is that even possible? What is the meaning of this? Sorry to surprise you all like this. Ever since I first heard legends of a hidden land somewhere in Isthmia, I've been dying to see this village for myself. It was a tough journey, but now here I am. With Beryl, I feel like trying to make sense of things only makes things more confusing. Is it even worth trying to ask you for more details at this point? I simply follow where destiny guides me. I don't understand, but there should be no way for a normal person to get through the barrier on their own. The teleportation stones may be a little off kilter. We should probably look them over one more time. A wise decision. I sense an ill wind blowing in this village's direction. I fear what the future may hold. Is that so? She sure is a strange one. As long as you're here, Beryl, try not to cause any trouble. I wouldn't dream of it. The Hexen clan and I are just fellow seekers of truth in a universe of mysteries. How is she the weirdest thing in this village? Oh, come now. There's no need to be shy. You want me to perform in your little drama, yes? That's right. Nothing ever slips past you, Beryl. You saw right through us, huh? Of course, you don't have to if you don't want to. No, I don't mind. Fate must have guided you to me. Under one condition. Seeing that I finally managed to reach this village, I'd care to return as soon as this is all finished. Of course. If you're ready, we can all head back to the Courageous 2 right now. Nay, don't worry about me. I have my own ways of getting around. It's Radio Tristan leaves, yes? I'll set out in a while and meet you there. Great, thank you. Wait, is she planning to use the spirit path to get there? Well, we did manage to transport Reen through it before, though it was only possible with Valamar's help, so I'm not sure how she'd get by. Yeah, Beryl is an enigma. Beryl agreed to perform. Beryl!
Yeah.
Beryl! I mean, she is our queen, yes?
Yes.
She is our queen, Beryl?
I mean,
You walked
no.
You walked right into that one, you did.
Yeah. Okay.
You walked right into that one, you did.
I surrender.
Meryl. The people I'd like you to speak with are Adel for Selma, Vivi for Ruri, Dorothy for Hyde, and Beryl for Velvet, right? Exactly, thanks in advance. Oh! Okay, it's all of them, actually, so...
Oh.
It's not just 4 stories, it's all the stories. So there you go, you get your boy love anyway. She's probably gonna be like, this is no time for war! Let's just frolic in the garden of flowers as 2 muscular, manly, sweaty men clasping each other in an embrace, hearts beating in the passion of working out, muscles rippling, sweat dripping, until they fully embrace in a passionate buff bench press. I could write boy love. Well, look who's back. I was actually just asking how things were going for you. You've been through a lot, but I'm glad you're able to meet up with Prince Oliver again. Whoa, how did you know that already? Did Adel tell you? But that would mean... Not to mention, I was kind of surprised by just how many of our friends were aboard the Courageous 2 when it showed up. Oh, I've known about the Courageous too for a while now, so when I saw the opportunity, I took the liberty of getting in touch with instructors Mary and Makarov and our old classmates. Stark helped out as our branch campus contact, too. That's incredible. I always knew she was pretty unflappable with this. I've heard stories about her family, but she just put the stories to shame. Oh, no, it was nothing. Anyhow, thanks to that, we managed to get the main campus kids dealt with. Took advantage of the confusion and put a stop to the Zalber soldat training, too. So that's a plus. It really is. We're going to do our best to push back against the main campus and the IDF from here on. Of course, we can't ignore our preparations for that other operation either. The key to making it work is getting everybody to play nice together. The other operation, what are they up to now? You know the old field exercise camp in Sutherland? We've been putting together a little something that'll help support you. You should go check in on it if you have the time. Thanks, maybe we will. I'm really curious now. Guess I can make a stop at the old Sutherland field exercise camp later. Oh, Reen, is there something I can help you with? You're quick on the uptake. Monk actually sent us over to ask you a favor. Reen told Adel about the radio program and asked her to act as a stand-in. Sure, I don't mind at all. That's great help, thank you. You're never one to shy away from things, are you? Well, I wouldn't say I'm as brave as you, Toa, but I know Monk would be in a real bind over this. The radio station's just a short walk away from here. I'll head straight over once I've wrapped things up. Sounds perfect. Alright. So, they say there is something for us at the old field exercise camp. Which
it's my turn.
I don't know where it would be. Oh, duh. I just got lured in by the Dareflinger.
It's my turn. I got this.
It's my turn!
So I checked it out, and I am relatively disappointed at what I found. Whatever.
Disappointing.
A little bit. A little bit. Come on, cord. Untangle. It's just boy love, and we're the guy. So I believe we read up to Black Record 6, right?
I believe so, yes.
Alright. Reen, perfect timing. Help me out here. I'm trying to convince Dorothy to take a break from pairing up guys and write about girls for a change. Yes. I'm with you 100%, Angelica. It's time. Too many women write about guys in love, but they don't know shit about what guys would do if they were in love. Now, women, on the other hand, we need more of that. I told you, Angelica, I have firm rules when it comes to what I write about, and your request violates the most sacred one. I don't really have a dog in this fight, but if Dorothy really doesn't want to do it, there's no reason she should have to, right? Wrong, Reen. Fair point, Reen, but I wouldn't want to see a writer of Dorothy's caliber squander her potential. The girl has the chops for this. Wait, Angelica, have you read my books? Of course, they're amazing. Which is why I think it's criminal for you to limit your stories to just one type of attraction. For now, let's start with the long talk about just how appealing women can be. But how about that? Not even Dorothy's a match for Angelica. Oh, that's right. There was something I'd been meaning to ask you, Dorothy. Oh? What is it? Reen asked Dorothy if she'd be interested in participating in a stand-in for Monk's radio program. She said, yeah! Hold on a second. I'm not really sure I am the right fit for a lead role. That said, Eternal Noon has been seeing a silent yet sturdy jump in popularity among young women as of late. But forget the heroine, Noon's steamy chemistry with his rough and tumble colleague turned rival is where it's really... I can almost taste it. Yeah, if possible, I'd like you to be left out of whatever party platter your mind is conjuring up there. Well, personally, I'd say go for it. It can get pretty creatively stimulating, if you know what I mean. You're probably right. Okay, I'll do it. I'll take the plunge. Radio Trista, right? It leaves? I'll head right over once I'm finished here. Thanks, Dorothy. You're gonna do great. Yeah. She writes super steamy boy lovey love about muscular men and rippling muscles. He said she was on the Courageous 2. Vivi and Dorothy should be both be on board. They might be. They one of them might be on deck. Or Vivi might be on deck. There she is. Neptune, get off the phone. Don't worry, it's all good on my end. I've got this, like a kangaroo. Well, it's not good on my end. I couldn't reach you for over a month, and now you want to tag along and interview some third-party power? Not just that, but you even set this completely unrealistic event plan. Our paper's read by the military for ADO's sake. Although, doing a joint feature with the Crossbell Times isn't a bad idea. Right? I already talked it through with Rex. Actually, it might have been his idea originally. Normally, I'd flat out refuse, but some other staff here are on board with your proposal. However, it's not workable without some changes. Come to the office and we can discuss the edits. So sorry, boss, but no can do. I'm not on the best terms with the military at the moment, so I'd rather keep a low profile. Can't you just leave it in your capable hands? Is this all a joke to you? Ever heard of the word responsibility? Vivi's talking to her superior at the Chronicle. Sounds like she submitted some unorthodox proposal to the editor-in-chief. Well, not my business anyway. Yo, Reen, you need something from me? Don't tell me you've abandoned Elisa and Fee to flag the Vivi ending. A bold move, sir. I could go for some Vivi. I have no idea what that means. I'm here because Monk asked me for a favor. Like, friggin', even when Neptune is not Neptune, she's still fucking Neptune. Like, she's still fourth wall breaking. Like, even when Neptune's not Neptune, she's still a whole lot of Neptune.
Oh yeah, much Neptune.
I like Neptune. Those are good games. Oh, man. Reen told Vivi about the radio program and asked her to act as a stand-in. I remember back when Lynn subbed in on one. It sounded so fun. Made me a little envious. Plus, the show itself was pretty highly regarded in the industry, so yeah, I think that'd be really cool. Eureka! What about bringing Linda along, too? The twins route could wind up being pretty fun. Ever the comedian. Anyway, it would be a big help. Anyway, I'm the last person you're waiting on, right? Let's head to the studio together, then. Vivi has agreed to perform. I mean, the twins route would be pretty good. Reed and the four other replacements gathered at Radio Trista and leaves. Once the script had been read and the cast received directions, the recording began. God dang. Stupid fall time allergies.
Yep.
Okay. On to the next scene. It's still pretty early on when reporter Rory first approaches Noon. She might be Nanai's twin sister, but she's got a hidden agenda. Hey, Noon, you're looking as serious as ever. It's been a while since you've seen Nanai, right? Why don't I patch you up instead? That's my cue. She has a hidden agenda, so we should probably drop the flirty act. In exchange for the information you got, of course. I see how it is. You're on that side of this time. You're on that side this time around, huh? And that's a wrap. That was perfect. You guys worked perfectly together, bringing out the best of both the lead and the heroine. It's still just the opening act, Monk. A baddie at the start who goes on to play a major role. This is a pretty sweet gig. She a baddie. Now we got Dorothy and her steamy books. Okay, this next scene is near the end of the first half. Noon found a code and goes to consult a librarian, Hein. His colleague, Acht, appears. They don't get along, but they respect each other professionally. Let's take it from Hein's response after saying goodbye. They appear to be only colleagues, but there's an unbreakable trust between them that can withstand any clash of their fiery attitudes. I'm sorry, it was just so touching. The wellspring of my heart was overflowing with emotion. I have to get it together. We're gonna work their reluctance. We're gonna work her reluctance into the performance because they're not on the best terms, but they are. They respect each other professionally. You were asking about the decryption, right? It seems that the language of ancient Sumeria is the key. So, thanks for coming back to your senses. Would you mind giving me the specifics? And that's a wrap. Oh no, Reen, you did great. I didn't expect Dorothy to get so carried away. Sorry, I just got lost in the moment. That's fine. Let's take it from the top. I botched that one up. I am down 1 AP.
Oh no.
This is the second half. Noon has survived Ox attack and has to rely on Velvet for help. She's a mysterious fortune teller he encountered several times before. Now she says the crystal ball and the tarot cards hint at a single possibility. Who was behind this incident and why they caused it. Now for the next bit. We're gonna have a touch of sadness. Noon, I think you of all people should know. It's Oct, isn't it? He wouldn't bother lifting a finger to help someone unless he respected them. For something like this, the list is very small. The culprit here must be... And that's a wrap! That was perfect. You guys work perfectly together, bringing out the best of the blah blah blah. A woman of mystery shows a little compassion. That's why the big reveal is so dramatic. I can tell you wanna listen in on the radio show Eternal Noon now. You're engaged.
Yeah, I kind of want it.
This is the climax. The government has declared martial law in the capital. Selma is pulling the strings, and now she moves to enact a plan to defeat the Chancellor. A conversation unfolds between Noon, who's made it in time somehow, and Selma, who possesses the demonic sword. I will throw my own life away for the sake of this kingdom's people. If I don't, the kingdom will fall to the Crown Princess and the Chancellor. Our dearest hope, the second princess, will be lost to darkness. I can really relate to her in this case. I feel like she would be calm. Step aside, Noon. Do not make me hurt you. I see. Your resolve to see this through is indeed impressive. In that case, I am even more prepared to stand my ground. And that's a wrap. I did it! Yay! That was absolutely perfect. You guys worked perfectly together, bringing out the best of the best. I ignored the curse of the demonic sword, so was it really alright? I think in these circumstances it was fine. Wow, just what I would expect from Adel. Yeah, we ignored the curse. No more curse. Great work, everyone. I loved listening to it. No, thank you. We'll be able to finish it with this. Some of you might have had a few issues, but they were immediately fixed. I wish you guys would join the show as regulars, but... Gosh, Monk, it's like you get carried away like that, but... I guess it does feel great to get complimented. It might not be too bad if such an opportunity arises again. Yes, I'm so looking forward to Noon and Ox's deepening relationship, after all. After I've seen the Hands of Fate play out, I may help once more. You mentioned that the broadcast date is only 4 days off, right? I'll be asking Director Michael to look things over before signing off on the broadcast. I have to get the editing done today. I'm really fired up for this. Dorothy and Vivi went back to the Courageous 2 ahead of the others. Adel also decided to delay her return to Lemaire to stay on the ship for a little while, and Barrow returned to Erin Village through unknown means. I only got 1 extra AP out of that. No, I could have gotten 2.
Oh no.
I
could have
gotten 2.
The 2.
The 2.
Rip.
Rip 2. Et 2. Where we say bon oui. Lemonade is the best of aid. Alright. And we are going to end this episode off by reading the Black Records.
Yeah.
If I can fucking find them again. Where the hell are they? here? Over here? Must be over here. Okay. Drykels takes up arms, year 949. A young man lays on a grassy plain, enjoying a nap in the peaceful setting. Before long, however, his rest was interrupted by the arrival of a second young man on horseback. The youth wore the trappings of a knight, and his expression was deathly serious. His armor bore many rents and scratches, and his left arm was bound in a bloody bandage. The first young man had not seen him in several years, but a cheerful reunion did not seem to be his purpose. "You were right after all," the second man said gravely. "At this rate, the Empire's days are numbered." At this, the first young man rose from the grass. He was none other than the third prince of the Erebonian Empire, Prince Drykels. As a man with no claim to the throne due to his commoner mother and shunned by the other highborn princes, Drykels had long since left Erebonia. Wandering from place to place and whiling away his days, 3 years prior he had reached the land of Nord, where he had remained ever since. Though left to his own devices since childhood, his nature was noble, and he was quickly accepted by the people of Nord and lived peacefully among them. But while he had left his homeland, he had not truly abandoned it in his heart. During his wanderings, his mother had passed away. But while she lived, she had told him something that would remain with him for the rest of his days. The blood flowing through you will not allow you to turn your back on the Empire's suffering. Prince Drykels had turned those words over in his head again and again. What could a powerless vagrant like himself truly hope to do? The knight's arrival, however, signified two things: that the war continued to worsen and that Erebonia was on a certain path to ruination. His mother was probably correct. Hearing the knight's words, he decided that enough was enough. He could ignore the pain of his countrymen no longer. That knight, incidentally, was called Roland. He was a childhood friend of Drykels and his confidant. He was also the man who Drykels had left in charge of things in his place before leaving the country. Prince Drykels set about preparing to depart, but before he could finish, he was met by several of the tall knights of Nord, their cross-shaped spears in hand. They, too, were close friends of Drykels, and they volunteered to accompany him and Roland, fearing that the two men alone would not stand a chance. The next morning, the prince departed the village, a mere 17 men under his command. They bade farewell to the people of the settlement, and its elder wished them well. "May the winds and the goddess be with you." He blessed them. "Fortune favor you all." The war comes to an end, year 952. Prince Drykels' opponents were the armies of the 4th Prince Orthros and his Vermilion Knight, 6th Prince Lucius and his Palatinate Knight, and the combined forces of the remaining princes, Gunnar and Albert, who had a legion of magical golems under their control. Yet it was he, the illegitimate son of a commoner and late comer to the war, who emerged triumphant. His victory did not come without losses, however. During his return to Erebonia, Roland fell in battle. Not long after that, however, he met a woman who would change his destiny forever. That woman was none other than the daughter of Count Sandlot, who hailed from the lakeside town of Legram. Her charismatic personality and peerless skills with the lance earned her the leadership of the band of knights, known as the Eisenritter, and the moniker Lance Maiden. Her name was Leanne Sandlot. Prince Drykels and Leanne Sandlot may have come from wildly different backgrounds, but their concern for the innocent victims of the war united them in purpose to bring an end to the bloodshed, and it was those shared feelings that made them join forces. The two of them, along with the warriors of Nord, the Eisenritter, and the other peoples of the nation whose hearts they moved, liberated one town after another and were eventually successful in persuading even Prince Lucius, owner of the Palatinate Knight, to fight for their cause. At the same time, however, the false emperor schemed to elevate the cursed Vermilion Knight to even greater power, to godhood, and thus the Vermilion Apocalypse was created. The demonic god emerged in Heimdall along a monstrous castle and vanquished the approaching armies of Albert and Gunnar in a single battle. Their end was anything but conventional, however. They were simply erased from existence. Even the Palatinate Knight could not contend with such a foe and was felled. And as it decimated all who challenged the false emperor, countless crimson veins spread out from the castle, stealing the very life from the capital's citizens as well as those in the surrounding area. Defeat seemed all but inevitable for Prince Drykels, the Lance Maiden, and their followers, but they refused to give up. Following the guidance of a kindly witch, they were led to a new great knight which slumbered on the outskirts of Heimdall. After overcoming a trial, they were able to claim the Ashinite and Its Power. With it in hand, and many other supporters and the army of Prince Lucius, they marched on the capital for the final time, eventually making their way to the castle at its center. 3 days later, on the 4th of July, year 952, the castle vanished from existence and the city was liberated. The Lionheart Emperor, year 994. Forgive me, you may leave now. Yes, sir, please call for me if anything happens. The head butler, now in his later years, bowed before leaving. The other man sighed deeply as he lied down in the bed. He was elderly and sick. His well-trained body was as sturdy as a fortress still, and very few would ever doubt the condition of his health. However, he was clearly aging, weakening, and felt his end looming over the horizon. The Lionheart Emperor, otherwise known as Drykels Rhysei Arnor. He was the 73rd emperor and nearing the age of 70. After ending the 5-year-long civil war known as the War of the Lions, Dracols had been working tirelessly for 40 years. Although he was enthroned the year the war ended, he had lost his Nord friends and parted with the witch. He and his vassals worked hard to restore the empire. I have no regrets. No need to worry about the children either. The empress had also urged him to give up on the thoughts of the past. She was the daughter of a marquis who was assassinated during the Civil War, and although she was much younger than he, they fell deeply in love, and she bore him 2 sons and 2 daughters. Although she passed several years earlier, their children remained healthy and would shoulder the burden of the reconstructed empire's future. The next generation is being raised well. In the first half of the war, his best friend Roland Vander gave his life to protect him. And now Arnor raised his son. The son was already in his 40s now, and he flourished as a martial arts master while serving as a military officer. Then there was the Thor's Military Academy. He had established the academy 20 years prior. It was a place for the best and the brightest, accepting students from various backgrounds. He'd be surprised. He smiled, thinking of his good friend that had fallen into deep slumber at the end of the Civil War. The academy had been constructed at the place they'd first met and where his friend now rested once more. These long years weren't for nothing then. As long as I can endure that thing until Adios comes for me, that is. He cast his gaze at the corner of the room. There awaited the nameless darkness. Today it came again to speak to him. Begging pathetically, threatening with intimidation, subtly tempting. He knew what it was, ever since that day, 40 years ago, when he took the throne. I suppose I should be happy my children and their descendants will suffer the same curse. If he were not a man with the heart of a lion, he would surely have been broken by this daily torment long ago. On this day, however, he had a second visitor. Dracols? An incredibly harmonious voice called out his name, bringing with it a wave of nostalgia. He looked up to see a woman with hair flowing like gold standing at his side. The Salt Pail, year 1178. Are you ready to maybe learn some stuff about the salt?
Yes.
On July 1st, 1178, at 5:45 a.m., a great catastrophe struck Northumbria, then a principality of northern Cimmeria. A giant white pillar suddenly appeared on the outskirts of its capital, Haliask. The pillar was composed of not snow nor ice, but salt. As such, it was named the Salt Pail. A storm of salt spread outward from it, solidifying everything it touched. Despite only lasting a few days, its effects were felt for months afterward, as citizens fled south seeking refuge. In the immediate aftermath of the catastrophe, the number of victims equaled about 1/8 of the country's population. That number rose to nearly 1/3 of the population with the inclusion of the victims in the days that followed. After the incident, the Septian Church led evacuation procedures, provided aid, and employed hundreds from the Bracer Guild to help. In a short time, relief forces from Erebonia, Ramiferia, Juri, Liberal, and the Republic of Calvert had assembled in Northumbria. Meanwhile, the country's leader, Prince Balmund, who had fled to a neighboring country at the start of the catastrophe, had returned to rebuild the government. However, he was met with violence from the enraged citizens for leaving them behind in their hour of need. In the end, he was forcibly removed from power, and then Northumbria became a democracy. The remnants of its former armed forces reformed as the Northern Jaegers. Erebonia, their neighbor to the south, had contradictory views on the new autonomous state. On one hand, it refused to recognize the legitimacy of the new democratic government. On the other, it eagerly welcomed the Northern Jaegers. Northumbria's extreme poverty and focus on bringing in foreign currency meant that the former soldiers were easily manipulated by the promise of imperial coin. The Jaeger Corps went around the empire, hiring themselves out to the nobility and newly developing businesses who were fighting over septium and natural resources. They turned out to be the perfect pawns for Erebonia to use in its proxy wars and internal struggles. Despite this, the massive amounts of mirror that flowed in from the empire helped save Northumbria in its dire straits. 27 years after the catastrophe of the Salt Pail, the empire annexed Northumbria as reparations for the Northern Jaegers' actions in the Erebonian Civil War. As before, Erebonia's vast resources ended up lifting the former independent state out of its chronic poverty. Shortly after the disaster, the Septian Church restricted access to the northern half of the country. After the annexation, however, the Imperial Army's Intelligence Division began investigating the Pale, which had been then classified as an otherworldly singularity. One of the Intelligence Division's collaborators has been able to confirm that members of the Church's Dominion retrieved the Salt Pail and brought it back to Arteria. It's rumored, however, that a piece of the Pale still remains on site in Northumbria. So we learned much. Alright. Till next time, everybody.
Till next time.